Sunland Park, and this is a spot where there's a portion of the border where there's no wall, from what I understand. It's a spot where a lot of the border crossers from Ciudad Juarez pop across, and so I wanted to hop down here and take a look. So you can see the border wall straight ahead of us. I want to see how close this road gets me to it. Looks like a CBP van up ahead that they use to transport the migrants. It's about 4:30 p.m. right now. So kind of the heat of the day has, the worst heat of the day has passed, and now school bus driver. We may see a little bit more activity now that it's going to be getting a little bit cooler, but let's get up as close as we can to the fence. I'll toss the drone in the air and see what we can see. Okay, yeah, so sure enough, noisy train in the background, but here at the wall, a little hard to do commentary when somebody's making a lot of noise. So this here is going to be this here will be the far northwest side of Ciudad Juarez. And you can see, looking up this direction, where the wall would continue to go up and over the hills, but apparently it's just too rough a terrain. And so that's where folks are walking across. And I saw several patrol vehicles up on the hillside, and you can kind of see them straight ahead, maybe pulling an ATV, but they're going to be patrolling this area pretty heavily. This is also a stretch where apparently there's lots of kind of up and over, like I don't see any concertina wire or anything here. So seems to me like it'd be a bit easier to get over than some of the other spots we've seen. I'm gonna cruise down this road a little ways and see what happens. See if CBP tells me to get lost. So I think we're going to be able to get pretty close on the Ciudad Juarez side. The road anytime there's an undercut like this where the wall hops down into a lower area, you got a spot where they don't have to get quite so high. You can kind of see through the fence there just how high the ground level is. Lots of trash. Airbnb host is Hispanic and has a son who apparently he didn't apply for U.S. citizenship soon enough or something. Anyway, has a son who was living in Mexico, and then a couple of years ago he wanted to come across and live in the U.S. And so he wound up paying a coyote $10,000 to transport him to Sunland Park area here, where, according to my host, he came through a tunnel that was dug underneath the wall. So that must also be a thing. And then he turned himself in for asylum. Get into too narrow of a squeeze and not be able to turn around. Be a little bit careful here. Government property, no trespassing. Okay. Nice cloud cover. Economically disadvantaged portion of Juarez. I think right up here is where we're going to see the wall end. From what I can see, yeah, sure enough, right there. Whew! Just got hit with a powerful stink. Oof. That's pretty nasty. Yeah, sure enough. I'm gonna hop up. Bit of a drop off down there. Okay. I'm sure there's a million eyes on me right now. I'm prepping to be able to hop back over. But yeah, sure enough, end of the fence right there. So there's a spot where folks are going to be able to walk right through, and then going on up the mountain, obviously no wall, but there's also, doesn't look like there's any controls that I can see on the Mexican side. In fact, there's houses and streets that go right up next to it. So I'm guessing this is just going to be a regular crossing spot. I wonder if we'll be able to see any IDs or anything down here, where people will shed them before they cross. I have a feeling things are a little bit sleepy right now, in part because it's so hot. And there it is. That's the end of the wall. I mean, super easy spot to walk across, obviously, and I mean, with road access like right there, it's 200 feet away. Yeah, this is gonna be a spot where there will be a fair amount of traffic, I would imagine, especially at night. I'm guessing they'll cross over and get picked up and taken off to get processed. The railroad line here offers a pretty good sight break from most of civilization, but really it wouldn't take much to get around this thing. I mean, I'm kind of gauging how long it's going to take before someone comes down to want to talk to me. Whew. Oh, that's stinky. Oh, look at that. There's maybe a sewer runoff tunnel or rain runoff. Yeah, I'm surprised nobody's here yet. Although, I also don't see any of the really obvious observation towers right here. Not to say that there's not something hidden in the bushes or something. But Sunland Park, there it is. So that's a super easy spot. Like, I don't know necessarily why you'd get up there in the hills, walk across there, walk up this road, and then cross the tracks, and you're not even a half mile before you're into the town of Sunland Park, where there'd be plenty of places to hide out. And you can basically drive right up here. Hey there. What's going on, sir? Journalist. I'm just poking around. Okay. So just walked up to the end of the wall there and Just looking at the neighborhood on the other side and how easy. I know you guys have to keep an eagle eye on this. So.
Yeah, I was like,
what's going on out there? Yeah, there's a million eyes on you whenever you roll up to it, but yeah, I'm a freelancer, got a YouTube channel. I'm basically covering the border from Gulf to Pacific, so in Juarez for now, or El Paso, Sunland Park. So I'm gonna pop over to the other side of the wall because I know it gets real close. The road on the Juarez side gets really close to the wall a little bit further up, and from what I understand from some research, that's a lot of the up and overs come over right there. So, okay.
All right.
You guys have your work cut out for you.
Oh, yeah, we do.
Keep doing the Lord's work.
Especially in the heat.
Yes.
Have a nice day, sir.
Okay, thank you. Cool. Friendly. What's he doing in there? Okay, well, just to give you an idea, looks like he did get down here relatively quick. But this is the road that takes you right back out and into town. So it's that fast. So they do have to keep an eagle eye on this. That's a transport bus for the folks that they pick up coming through. They just permanently have a 55 passenger bus sitting there. Huh. This would be a place to post up for the night and see what's going on. In fact, maybe that'd be something to do tonight. Just to keep an eye on what's up. Okay, well, Sunland Park, everybody. This is town. So, boom, you're right into it. And spots to potentially hide and all of that. Alright, friendly state troopers. So we, interestingly enough, are right where the start of the Rio Grande, so the Rio Grande continues on up into the US, but this is right where the Rio Grande starts to make up the US-Mexico border. So I want to get us a little closer to that to take a look at it. And it is right here. Okay, so we've actually got a couple of railroad bridges that go across, but if we can see here, we've got the start of the wall and then obviously lots of concertina wire. But where the wall comes down right there to the river, that is the start of where the Rio Grande makes up the US-Mexico border. And I'll get close to it so you can see just how wide the river is. It's not wide. And this concertina wire, these spools stretch up the river ways for folks who, I guess, hop in the water and try and swim up. Oh, look at that. Some kind of heron? Okay. But yeah, that's the river there. Get a little bit better view of it. So end of wall right here, and then the border will extend out and be halfway across the river, essentially for the length of the river all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico. And we've got a construction area, so I won't get close, but just a view of what this looks like. Can't say I never took you nowhere.
Updated.
Okay, so getting this thing in the air. Take it up real fast. So what we're looking down here is the Rio Grande, and I'm only going to take this up about 100 feet. So there's the Rio Grande. And I'll do a quick pan. But right here, where the wall rolls down into the river, that's the start at which the river becomes the international boundary. I'll just do a pan of what this looks like down here. This very thin band of green where the Rio Grande is running. This is right at the very, very edge of Texas, just before it pops into Sunland Park. Alright, I'll bring this back down. As I was driving away that I forgot, oh, there goes the bus. I forgot to get some drone footage out here. So I just turned around, came back. Let's get the drone in the air, do a quick kind of 360 view, and then we can get out of here. Okay, getting this guy in the air. Queen bee, gal.
Takeoff.
You do have a flight restriction here. It's going to go up 150 meters, so get this launched, which is higher than I'm going to need to go. That's 450 feet. That gets into some flight paths. So we're going to go up about, let's see, I think 200 feet should do it. Real quick pan. See where the wall ends. Basically straight ahead here. Railroad tracks run right by it. You got Juarez out beyond. That's where you can drive up to the wall. The wall looks like it's pretty continuous heading back to the west. CBP took off in a rush. They must have some action going on. And then this is looking back towards Sunland Park. Getting a little cooler. A little nicer to be out here. And there we are. There's our 360-degree pan. And we'll end it right there. On that gap in the wall. Bring her back down. This is some hot and dry landscape. So we're back here at the Sunland Park border area. And there's a lot of these freight trains that are going through. You can see about how slow they slow down to as the train is taking that turn, which would, I suspect, make it possible for folks who walk across the border right there to be able to get up to the train and potentially grab a hold, and off they go. So I'm sure there's lookouts to make sure that there's nobody, at least obviously, sitting on the train cars. I stopped by one of the CBP vans that had several migrants inside and was chatting with the officer, just letting him know I was going to be in the area. He said, "No, that's fine, that's fine." I told him I had gone up to the end of the wall a little earlier this afternoon. He goes, "Ooh, that's dangerous. I would stay away from there." I told him, "Yep, no problems. I'm not going to be, I won't get in the way." But I'm curious to see the action down here tonight. He said it's been busy, and he had migrants in the back of the van. An ATV. It's like Customs and Border Patrol ATV. CBP officer just pulled up next to the tracks, and they're searching the brush as they're kind of going in towards where the wall ends there. So looks like they've got a suspicion that there's somebody hiding out. We're gonna try and pick up. Oh boy. Okay, yeah, I definitely get the feeling this place is hopping. I got my binoculars. We got the bright lights on. I think you might have seen me wandering around. I don't have my lights on in my car. I don't know if he knows that I'm sitting up here. Just threw his brights on. That truck's come to a stop. Right here, just past the train tracks, is where the main road, it's the only spot where it runs right up against the wall. So that would be just a super quick jump out, jump over type of thing. having a main road to be able to get up to it. Wow. I am pretty sure that guy was just on the other side of the fence. I saw him drive past. We got somebody else coming up. Okay, he turned around. Somebody coming. Okay, there's a four-wheeler coming in from this side. We got a couple of these ATVs. So that was a dude and his girlfriend. Definitely not CBP. Okay, so looks like we just have some joyriders back here. But I am almost positive that that ATV was just driving on the other side of the wall. Basically from where the wall ended, I think he must have come across and then kind of worked his way out, but then all of a sudden he was coming back from the other direction. Okay. It's Friday night. Guess there's not a lot to do except go cruise around on your ATV right in a like super active migrant crossing area. The CBP presence just helps make things exciting.